What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fann of showmefootball.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. He's Michael D'Arcy of KC Sports Report, and we just received an interesting quote from Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. We're going to break it down right after this. Ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back into another video on my channel. Today, I'm joined by my good friend, Michael D'Arcy of KC Sports Report. And Travis Kelce showed up to Chiefs mandatory minicamp and got to talk to the media yesterday. And we got some interesting quotes from him, but there's one in particular that I would love to break down in this video. And I'm pulling this graphic from Starcade Media, but essentially the quote from Travis Kelce was him saying, "I got 1 year left on this contract. I know that. We'll try and figure out something for next year. I can't see myself ever playing anywhere else. Right now, I'm focused on winning a championship." Now, Michael, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because we know that Travis Kelce is back for this year. He has 1 year left on that contract, as he stated. And so I think a lot of people kind of figured, especially since the day he signed that little 2-year extension last year, that, okay, when this contract is up, he's probably done, right? Like, he'll just retire after that. And a lot of people are going into this season figuring that this is Travis Kelce's last ride. But my question for you, Michael, is what if it isn't? What if Travis Kelce is alluding to him playing further into the future than this year?
When Josh, it's so interesting, and this is something that we actually talked about last night on the radio. It's like every step of the way, people have almost prematurely said that Travis Kelce's done. Like, they did this even though he still had 1 more year left on his contract. Like, he basically said that he was never really in question of if he was going to come back. And so, like, do I think he's going to come back, next year for $19 million a season? No, I don't think the Chiefs are going to do that. But Josh, maybe there is a world where if he goes out this year and, he balls out and he has fun again and he isn't the focal part of the offense, and so his body's not getting beat up, and so he's relatively healthy. I mean, is it crazy to think that maybe he signs another, 1 year deal to play another year? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's really important that you hit on the fact that I think a lot of it is going to be based on how he's used, because we were warning, years ago, at least myself, as well as a few other, prominent figures here on YouTube and so on. We're talking about, like, hey, the Chiefs kind of need to, like, find some other contributors on the offense, because, like, Travis Kelce is getting up there a little bit. Like, you want him to not have to, like, bear the load of the entire offense. And unfortunately, whether it was due to injuries, poor planning by the front office and coaching staff, like, Travis Kelce kind of still has been way more involved than he really should be at this age. And I think you saw in that Super Bowl in particular, like, he really wore down as the season went on. And it's just like he couldn't do that one more game. And so I think a lot of this is going to be based on how he's used this year. If the Chiefs are able to go out, win, 14, 15 games, make a deep playoff run again, but Travis Kelce's only playing like 30% of the snaps, and guys like Rashee Rice and Jalen Royals and Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown are lighting it up, then I think maybe you could see Travis Kelce say, hey, I could do this for another year.
I think it also is kind of dependent on how the Chiefs end their season, because if they win the Super Bowl, I think Travis Kelce's probably like, okay, I'm going to go out a champion.
Yeah.
But if they lose, I think it's just the competitor in him. He could maybe convince himself to come back for 1 more year. And it's difficult because, like, he's going to be 36 in October, Josh.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he is going to, want to go through the process of preparing for another season when next year, when he'll be turning 37. Like, that's a lot of wear and tear on the body. And, you got to make that decision to come back and play football in, like, April, and not even April, like, way sooner than that. And so,
yeah, because, I mean, the team is going to want to know if you're going to be there or not so they can plan accordingly.
Of course. And I think, I guess before that point next year, he wouldn't be under contract, so they'd have to really sign him. So we're going to find out after this season pretty quickly if he is going to come back or not for another season. But I do think that this is a situation where Josh, I can't see him playing for a division rival. I can't see him playing for another team. I think if he doesn't play for the Chiefs, he's done.
Well, I was actually going to be my next question for you because he did throw in there, I can't see myself ever playing anywhere. So I almost wonder if there's a scenario where the Chiefs maybe are done with Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce's not done with football. And it's going to be almost like one of those obscure examples of a player going somewhere else and playing for a year. And you're like, oh yeah, that guy played for that team 1 year. Kind of like Jason Witten that 1 year on the Raiders. Not saying Travis Kelce's going to the Raiders, but I know you kind of already answered it. But Michael, do you think there's any possibility whatsoever that Travis Kelce could end up playing somewhere besides Kansas City for one more year if the Chiefs decide to move on?
If he really wants to, yeah. Like if Travis Kelce wants to play football, he'll play football. And I think the Chiefs are confident enough in what they are as an organization to say, you know what, we can move on. But it'd be kind of weird seeing Travis Kelce in a different jersey. When you said like go to a different team, my first thought was, what if he went to the Eagles? What if the Eagles try to get the second Kelce brother? I mean, could you imagine the ratings and what? I mean, goodness gracious, that would make me sick. I would be sick. But at the same time, like that could be interesting.
For some reason, I think of the Cowboys as like a team that like, you know, probably won't win a Super Bowl next year, but they want to keep the fans interested. They want to get those butts in seats. We know the Cowboys are more so Hollywood than they are football. And we know Travis Kelce has a big time girlfriend that, you know, brings a lot of attention. That sounds like music to Jerry Jones's ears. The Cowboys would probably pay him way more than he's actually worth at this point in his career. For some reason, if you just asked me what team could I see Travis Kelce going to if he were to not be on the Chiefs, for some reason my mind goes to the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, Josh, you actually just gave me a really like you mentioned a point like you're not just getting Travis Kelce, you're getting Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
And Clark Hunt might be, you know what? Taylor Swift is really good for the brand. Let's keep Travis Kelce. I don't care if he has one leg. It is very good for the Chiefs. Like, how much money has Taylor Swift made the Chiefs?
Probably quite a bit.
I listen, it's business. And if it's a business, I mean, Travis Kelce might not be good at all this year, and maybe he wants to come back for next year. The Chiefs might strongly consider it just because of who he is.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting because there's the football side of things, but there's also the marketing and the business side of things. And that is very important nowadays. And Travis Kelce is one of the most marketable players in the NFL, not just because of himself and his legacy and how good of a player he's been, but because of Taylor Swift. And you just have to acknowledge that.
Yeah. And it's definitely, listen, it's going to be a tough decision regardless for, you know, the Chiefs to say goodbye to him. But I think it's also even tougher made by the fact that like you could also be losing a couple $100 million.
For sure. But guys, I think we're going to go ahead and put a bow on this one. Do you think Travis Kelce is done after this year, or could you see him sticking around for a couple more years beyond this contract? Definitely let us know down in the comments below. But with all that being said, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. You can check out my work on showmefootball.com. Follow me on Twitter at showmefb. And then before we sign off, Michael, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube at KC Sports Report. That's kind of the one-stop shop for everything that I do. And hit the like button on this video.
There you guys have it. Michael's stuff will be down in the description as always. That's all we got for this one. We'll see you all in the next one. And as always, go Chiefs.